What story should the proposed X23 spin-off film tell? There's a wealth of riches in the Marvel Comics. Here are the best picks. Brought a somber, R-rated, Western-like feel to the X-Men film universe, and while it marked the end of the line for Hugh Jackman Wolverine, it needn't be the end. James Mangold's film introduced the next great hope for mutant and Laura Kinney. Daphne Keane aka X23. Bolstered by Keane's performance, the character was catapulted into the main, and, given the film's box office and critical strength, a solo film for the mutant ingenue was inevitable. Related things you didn't know about X23. Recently, James Mangold announced he was working on a spin-off, along with Laura's co-creator, Craig Kyle Yost being the other creator. He revealed they were already tinkering around with concepts for a solo X23 film, saying they wanted to craft. Armed with his words and his collaboration with Kyle, we found several comic book sources that could inspire Laura's standalone Target X 2007 miniseries details Laura's quest for family. In the comic, she tracks down across her aunt, Debbie Kinney, and her cousin Megan in San Francisco. Unfortunately, Debbie's boyfriend turns out to be an agent of Cloners. The facility transitions comic book analog and tries to force X23 to kill her relatives. Thankfully, it doesn't work, but let's just say the story put a new spin on family reunion drama. Some aspects of the tale are clearly out of the possibility, including S.H.I.E.L.D., Captain America, and Daredevil unless the Fox Marvel deal goes through, as well as Wolverine himself. Plus, X23's surrogate mother, Sarah, hasn't been introduced, although Laura bears the first name Sarah gave her in the comics, so they'd have to establish her lineage in order for the tale to make sense. Mangold and Kyle could easily mine key plot elements from Laura's tragic origin, including the heartstrings-tugging death of her mother, as well as her bittersweet realization that she has a clan. The comic also introduces her brutal handler, Kimura, who would make an excellent ongoing foil for Laura's continuing adventures. Nick's in this story. A slightly older Laura winds up on the run and in New York City. There, she falls under the thumb of a nasty pimp but also meets some friendly mutant transients. Together, the group bonds over their shared situation and X-genes and bands together to thwart Laura's pimp, Zebra Daddy, and his goons. Related most WTF things X23 has ever done. Clearly, Keane is too young for the grittier, utilized underpinning of this story, although themes of mutant companionship and teamwork run throughout the narrative. Indeed, Laura is already in the presence of a number of young mutant nomads, her fellow transigen escapees. Collision, the third volume of her ongoing series, written by Marjorie Liu, is another great place to pull tales from Laura's universe. During the series, Wolverine is out of commission, possessed by a demon, and X23 forges an uneasy alliance with his son Daken. She also joins up everyone's favorite shady Cajun with a heart of gold, Gambit. Most importantly, the story deals with Laura coming to terms with her progenitor's legacy and weighing the possibilities of replacing him. Although Wolverine's son doesn't exist in Fox's corner of the MCU yet, he's certainly viable, especially after rewrote the timeline. An additional hiccup is Gambit. While the Channing Tatum-old film is moving towards production, even if it's set in a similar present-day time frame too, and his intro is still 10+ years before X23 breaks free from transigen. Of course, Logan, Caliban, and Professor X survived the genocidal Cloners mutant weed-out, so perhaps Remy LeBeau did too. Her own angel Laura doesn't have the best of luck. She found romance with a teenaged, teamy displaced version of Warren Worthington III, or Angel, in 30 just before the Marvel Universe literally collapsed upon itself during. While the two shared a rocky relationship at times, Warren's tamed some of Laura's savagery while she showed him a thing or two about grim determination and perseverance and pain management as only a Wolverine can. Related why Logan's ending is perfect. Perhaps not everyone is looking for X23's mushy angle, but when it comes to growing up, there's nothing as universal as your first SO. Mangold already mentioned his interest in filming a realistic coming-of-age Laura pick. What better tale than the bittersweet story of young mutants in love? Not to stand in their way, though, but Angela Echangel have been killed. And, even if he survived, Warren would be in his 60s by 2029. On the other hand, a number of Transigen's mutant clones bore remarkably strikingly familiar names in. Perhaps a clone Warren was among them. If not, Mangold could also choose another young mutant clone, such as Christopher Bradley, a clone of X-Force's Bolt, to fall head over heels for Lee Ferrell, a young woman. The Sisters of Wolverine. Tom Taylor began one of the most illuminating, heartwarming, and badass storylines in one. He introduced the heirs apparent to Weapon X in the Wolverine manufacturing biz, Alchemax Genetics. Ms. Kinney made quite the impression on them, and as a result, they pumped out at least 10 x23 clones to do their murderous bidding. Naturally, Laura finds out she has a gaggle of sisters and tries to break them free. While the story is bittersweet, it does provide her with a tough as nails occasional sidekick and kid sister, Gabby, who could have a long shelf life of her own in Fox's universe. Much like Target X, the storyline revels in togetherness and family, while also holding a mirror to Laura, exploring who she could have and did become. Her efforts to bail out her sisters from an evil corporation is also an uphill battle, one involving a good deal of pain and self-reflection. The story might be a little trickier to adapt, seeing as Transigen's main peeps bit the dust in. Of course, you just can't keep those evil cloners down. Related. Hugh Jackman supports X23 spin-off Laura Kinney as one of Marvel's most original characters of late. As a clone of Wolverine, she could have turned out as a bland knockoff of his gruff and gritty character, but thanks to a strong origin story from Craig Kyle, as well as character building from top writers like Lou and Taylor, she's become one of the Mew's most engaging heroes. X23's debut, with props to the screenwriters and Keen's intense performance, successfully transferred her to the big screen. All the building blocks are in place, between numerous gripping four-color tales, the creative talents of James Mangold and Craig Kyle, and Daphne Keen's impressive skills. Plus, Laura has connections to numerous in-development properties like and the movie, allowing her a good deal of un-universe range, even if team-ups may require a bit of time travel furgery. Although Cable can surely help with that. For sure, X23 could enjoy a long, fruitful run through the superhero movie gauntlet. Next, should X23 become the new Wolverine?